Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the F1 23 My Team Career Journey for Cross GT Racing. The second episode of this series. We started our brand new team, a brand new career mode on a brand new game, F1 23. In the last episode, got our brand new car, new teammate. It's all starting all over again. We finished up F1 21 a while ago, and I finally managed to start getting into F1 23. So in the first race, the opening race of the season at Bahrain, we came away with a P13 finish, which is really good for us. Obviously, first race we don't expect to do so well, but we did choose to go with Ferrari as the engine supplier, and we did just really focus on chassis when we did the, I guess, like the pre-season interview. Just because chassis upgrades are pretty OP. You can make the car really light, which not only makes it fast, but makes it handle really well too. So, tried to get sort of as good a start as we can to this career mode, and it paid off. P13, no points, but we're not fighting for points in the first season. We're fighting for respect and more importantly acclaim. So really good outing for us. Our teammate finished a bit further down the order, which you would expect, especially from a rookie driver. It wasn't the greatest of races for us, as you can see just there. We had a little bit of contact there with Stroll and his Aston Martin, but we do have the pace to get us out of some sticky situations. I had an issue with the recording, so I didn't add in the recording for the facility stuff, but we did get a marketing department upgrade in to try and get the acclaim up. We did get, we've got an aerodynamics front downforce part in development. Our engine part that we tried to develop failed, so we need to redo that one again. And we've got tyre blankets on for the chassis, so that will help with the tyre wear, which is always important. So yeah, a little bit done this time around as we get ready for the Australian Grand Prix. Practice went pretty well as per usual. Most of the objectives were achieved from actually doing practice. There was only, I think, maybe 3 or 4 that I had to use quick practice to do. But overall, car is feeling pretty good. Our acclaim's shooting up. We're focusing a lot on getting our acclaim boosted up so we can get more sponsors into the team. So we're currently acclaim level 4. We're right on the cusp of getting acclaim level 5. I think once we get that, we get another sponsor, so that will boost our money. That will almost double our weekly income, hopefully. So yeah, things are looking up for us. We're just trying to fast track development of the car and really try to get as much money as we can into the team. A little bit of a slide there, the right-hander, but managed to save it pretty well here in our first run in Q1. Looking pretty good. In this game here, that chicane there is a lot easier to deal with that I found. I used to hit the curbing a lot, and it always sent you into a spin, so you couldn't really carry a huge amount of speed through there. If your line was slightly off, then your car was off the track. But it seems like they've tidied that up in this game, and it's a lot easier to get through that chicane as we round the final corner up to the line with the DRS going, and we end up getting the fastest lap. I mean, it is only early. Most of the races haven't finished their runs yet, but we end up finishing qualifying P1, 4 tenths ahead of Verstappen. That was a really tough push lap for me there. The rain now starting to set in, so we've jumped out early in Q2 to try and get a lap in on some dry tyres. Anyone that sort of waits any longer will probably end up missing out their chance to get a decent lap when the track gets too wet. And then anyone that's stuck out there on inters after that is obviously not going to have as good of a time to post up. So we really need to get through this lap as quickly as we can before the track gets too wet and we start basically losing our advantage. But also we're doing pretty well. Ocon does a 1:27 this lap for his first run in Q2, which I can't actually remember what the time was that I posted before, but I think that's probably faster than my Q1 time maybe, or maybe I'm feeling a bit optimistic on Ocon's behalf there. We round the final corner, up to the line, and we do a 1:27.4, which at that point is good enough for 5th, and it's just good enough. P10 in qualifying 2. Hamilton 1:25.9, currently P1 in qualifying, and by the time we get out in Q3, it is definitely full-blown rain. The track is pretty wet, but everyone's out on inters, so just trying to get a decent lap, and we managed. We haven't done a lap as of yet, and there's only 3 minutes left in the session. Just waiting for the best time to go out with all the traffic. We do end up going around the outside of, I think that might have been Ocon there, possibly, I'm not sure. But yeah, track's getting a little bit harder to manage now. Track is pretty wet. The inters are still feeling okay. Well, a little bit of indecision there from Piastri, and does throw us off a little bit, and so he does screw up our lap a little bit. But that's okay. We are into Q3, and the AI, I feel, sort of struggle a little bit more in the wet than I do. So hopefully we have a good time here, up to the line, and we get a 1:34.5. It's good enough for P2, sitting behind Sainz, 1.5 tenths behind Sainz, and that is where we finish off qualifying. So for the second race in a row, we are in Q3, and we are now starting P2 in this race thanks to some timely weather changes. So hopefully we can convert that into a good finish in the race. But it's going to be it's still going to be tough. You know, we're still out of our depth, but hopefully being up the front will give us a good chance to mitigate the damage, and hopefully we can get towed along by a lot of these front runners. Our claim level is now up to level 5, so hopefully we can get a new sponsor after this race. But off we go to race day.
This circuit missed a few years off the F1 calendar, and we missed Albert Park. So welcome back, and it's great to be back in Melbourne. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit, 3.28 miles around, with the streets making for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 14 corners around the lake, with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and the captain completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Joe, Bottas, Norris, Leclerc, Perez, Gasly, Stroll, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Fittipaldi, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
So there is the driver lineup for today's race at McLean Park. We are starting P2, Fittipaldi starting back in P20. Again, ahead of Sargent and de Vries, again like the last race. Another one stop here today. We're going softs to medium, so we're going to try and try and maintain some track position. We do get a really good start on Sainz. Essentially two Ferraris going head to head. A bit of contact there at turn 1 with Sainz. He loses out there, and Verstappen ends up claiming a place there. Now he's up into P2, and we've taken P1. We're now leading this race. in only our second race in Formula One, we are now leading a Grand Prix. Who knows how long it's going to last, but we're going to try and make the most of this. If anything, maybe we can try and defend against these guys and try and hold them up. We're not going to be able to, you know, race these guys. And as you can see, Verstappen is just mowing us down. You know, that Red Bull was so quick, but we managed to get a good enough lead on him that he doesn't manage to get to us before the chicane. So hopefully we can manage our lack of pace in some of these long straights with some good runs through the corner, or through the corners, I should say. But it looks like the rest of the pack is starting to bunch up behind us. Verstappen, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, all following along behind each other, and we are just holding them up a bit. We've got a 17th or an 18th advantage over Verstappen on the back straight, which we're able to use to get us down into turn 1, still out in front. We only lost a couple of tenths there on that run, but I do try to brake a little bit later heading into turn 1, just so I know they'll brake a bit earlier and I can push the car a little bit more through there. We're all over the road there, lose a little bit of control, and that opens the door for Verstappen to fly past us. Sainz is now coming up behind us. He's got a good run, but he's too far back. He thinks better of it. No point in trying to make risky moves early on in this race. Just going to try and wait it out. He's looking to make a move. He doesn't make a move here on the second DRS straight. He just tucks in behind using our slipstream. Probably just waiting for a safer time to make the overtake. We are only on lap 2 out of 20, so there's no need for anyone to make any risky maneuvers to try and get ahead. So he's probably just going to bide his time and wait for us to, well, basically just to not have enough pace, just like we did there. No pace on Sainz heading into that corner, but we can use him, hopefully use him to tow us along now, get into his slipstream, use that DRS. Hopefully he can keep us out of trouble and away from the other teams that we, you know, really are competing with. Because we're not competing with these guys. We're just trying to use them to try and get us into a better position than we would on our own. And we're doing okay. We're managing to keep some pace with Sainz. That hairpin, that chicane's still a little bit tricky to navigate, but I don't have to worry about spinning out every single time I touch that curbing. As we go wide at turn 1, we're checking our MFD, and that causes us to lose some time to Sainz. We've got the DRS still, but Hamilton in that Mercedes just comes racing past us, and he has now moved up into P3. We've been relegated to P4, but it's still pretty good. We're still, you know, we're P4 in our second Grand Prix. It's lap 4. We're 3 tenths ahead of Russell. He's closing that gap, but he's not closing it as quickly as I would have expected him to. Again, just missing the timing on that exit out of the chicane there. Russell takes advantage, jumps ahead. We're now about down to P5, so we're losing a position every lap pretty much. But that's not to be expected. You know, we're battling the you know, the front runners here, the top teams, and we're not a top team. So I'm not too fussed about losing positions to these guys. What I am worried about is losing a lot of time from these mistakes and letting the midfield teams and the back markers get more consistent runs through the race, because by the end of the race that will all add up and it'll be a lot harder for us to overtake in our second stint. We missed the apex in turn 1 there, get ourselves a little corner cutting warning. I'm not too fussed about that. It's only one warning. We're on lap 5. We're starting to get into a little bit of a groove here. The car is handling reasonably well. I'm just sort of missing some apexes, and that's not through the fault of the car setup. That's just my hesitancy to take some of these curbs. We let Alonso go there. A little bit of a lock up. I didn't want to try and come across and cut him off, so we just went you know, we just stayed wide and let him go. I know I've probably got a better chance of getting ahead of Alonso. We missed the apex there by a mile. Ocon is now breathing down our neck. He was like 1.8 seconds behind us a couple laps ago. Now he's right behind us, and we're now losing some pace to Alonso. We do have DRS, so maybe we can use that to try and keep within range of him. We missed the apex again at turn 1. So, you know, the inconsistencies in the driving are still there. Even with all the time I spent in practice, you know, practicing with the driving. We hit the curb, we spin out a little bit there, but we hold on. There's, you know, so the reluctancy to hit the curbs is, you know, is justified there. Because, you know, we're losing a lot of time any time that I spin out there. I can control it enough, but, you know, time is everything. So, yeah, we really need to focus on that. Tyre wear numbers are getting up there, but we are on softs, so it's to be expected. But, you know, we're still running a pretty good race. We're P6, which is still better than I expected that we would be at this point. I did use the difficulty calculator. I'm going to be using it for every race and sort of documenting the difficulty for each track, so that in subsequent seasons, you know, we can either re-gauge where the difficulty is, or, you know, just make some slight tweaks to it and stuff as we go through. So, you know, we have some relatively competitive racing in these videos. But so far, yeah, I feel like the difficulty is exactly where it needs to be. Qualifying is a different beast to the race. In qualifying, I can push a lot harder, knowing that I'm only doing one lap. Whereas in the race, it's about you know, strategy. Like you wanna push, but you have to worry about your tyre wear numbers. You've got to worry about the other cars around you and everything like that. So yeah, qualifying is good for us. The race is a different story. But we're doing pretty well so far, as some of the front runners are now heading into the pits to make their stops. Sainz and Russell staying out. They are well ahead of us, so they're not worried about us at all. Hopefully some of those other front runners can get caught up in the traffic with all the back markers and the midfield cars, and hopefully that means that we will have a better, I guess, a better spot when we rejoin the race after our pit stop. So really just trying to use this opportunity now with all this clear air, all this open space, to try and push and get some good times in, and just really try and capitalize on the advantage that we might get out of this. So we're heading to the pits now. So we had one good lap, and it was pretty good. We were green through sectors 1 and 2, so it was a pretty decent lap. And we're coming into the pits now to change onto some medium compound tires. And it looks like we're going to have a decent pit stop here onto the mediums. 2.9 second stop. That's decent. It's not as fast as I would like it to be. Obviously we want to be closer to the low 2 second mark, not the high 2 second. A little bit of a tap on the wall there, but no damage, thankfully there. Just not really focusing there with the change of tyre compound. We're not going to have as much grip on these mediums as we did with the softs, and we're not going to have the pace, and they are a bit cold as well. We've only just come out of the pits, so going to get used to that. But we did hit that chicane, that apex of the chicane, pretty well, and sort of have to get used to the braking now too. This car handling really well on the mediums, actually. I'm not sure if that's just because they're medium compound tyres, and I've always found, like in the last game, in the F1 21 game that I played, that I was a lot more comfortable on the mediums than on the softs. I could handle a lot better. I was even sometimes getting better times on the mediums than I was on the softs, just because I could drive a lot smoother, and, you know, I was a lot more consistent. So I'm not sure if it's that, or if it's just the fact that because we don't have the pace, I'm slowing down too much and I'm hitting these apexes really easily because I'm just not pushing the car as far as I could with it. But either way, hopefully this will be a pretty good time. We go wide there on that corner, as we get the notification that Pierre Gasly is now out of the session. So I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like he's parked up on that long DRS run where they took out the chicane from F121. He's just parked up there. I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll take a look at the replay. So here he is. He's having a good run here behind the Aston Martin, and then all of a sudden there something happens. There's no smoke coming out of his car, but he is losing a ton of pace. He's holding up the other cars behind him. So he's held up the two Alfa Romeos. I don't know why they didn't go past him, but yeah, it's definitely ruined their time. As we take a look from Gasly's perspective here, something just happens there, and the car just is starting to power down now. It doesn't look like I mean, there's no smoke, so I don't know if it was an engine failure. It must have been some sort of engine failure. It doesn't look like a gearbox failure, and it doesn't sound like an issue with the gearbox, but who knows? They may have changed some stuff in this game that I'm not sure of, but either way, Gasly is out of this race. We lose a little bit of control there. We're right on the inside of the corner, which isn't good. We're going to stay wide. We let Perez go. He's flying past us. Leclerc also takes the opportunity to go ahead. We are now in P8, and we've got Norris behind us, and then Albon behind him. Norris is on the mediums. Albon's on the hards, so we shouldn't be too worried about Albon, but Norris makes a really good move there up the inside. He's on the mediums. We've got the pace. We get up the inside of him again. Well, I say again, we get up the inside. We take the position back, and we have now jumped back up into P8. Norris looking to capitalise on any mistake that we make and try and get some extra points on this point here. We're sitting in the points, P8, and then the cars behind us in the previous race, we actually had some pace on Albon, so he's on hards for the rest of the race, so we actually have a pace advantage over him in terms of the tyre compound. So if we can stay ahead of him, we could be in for some points today, which is massive for us, because obviously it's only the second race of the season and we're a brand new team, so points for us is huge. It definitely shows the other teams and the other drivers that we are definitely a force to be reckoned with, and we're going to hopefully be a force in the future of the sport. So we hit the brakes a little late there. We also didn't have a very good run on the inside of that corner, as Perez and Leclerc were both battling there. Leclerc ends up getting that position from Perez. He's now from the P6, Perez P7. We are still sitting P8. Norris is behind us, but he's almost 2 seconds behind us now, so we're gaining some time on Norris. Definitely starting to feel more comfortable on these medium tyres now. We've got 4 laps left in this race. If we can just stick with Leclerc and Perez, hopefully they can pull us along. We can stay on the DRS, and we can gain some more distance on Norris. And if these guys keep fighting like this, it's only going to help us. I'm not looking to overtake them. Oh, we go wide onto the grass, and we've lost so much time now. We're still within DRS to Perez, but we're going to try and claw some of that, some of this gap back. Otherwise, they're going to start to pull away from us, and that's our advantage pretty much gone, which it already is. They're now out of DRS range, so they've got DRS. Well, Leclerc's probably using battery. Perez has got DRS on him, and they're pulling away now. Lap 19 now, so now a couple laps later, I can still see them, but they're 3 seconds up the road. But Norris is 2 seconds behind us. We go wide. We go really wide in the second to last corner, off onto the grass. And that's going to help Norris. He's gone from being 2 seconds behind to just over 1 second behind. Final lap of the race. I'm not worried about Albon. 6 seconds to Albon. We should be fine for him, but I can't make any more mistakes because I don't want Norris to get back in front of us. We're on for a points finish here today, which will be huge for the team, for the morale of the team, and also for our our run for a really good championship constructors finish this year, to get plenty of money coming in for next season, which I know it's a long way to that point, We're only in race 2 out of 16, but it's still an exciting concept to think that we could be claiming some points in this race as Norris is closing in the gap to us. He's only half a second behind us now, but way ahead. It's a familiar sight. Verstappen rounds the final corner down to the line, and he takes the checkered flag here in Australia for round 2, his second win in a row, and it looks like Lewis Hamilton claims his second place finish of the season, which is huge for him. Keeps him right up there at the top. We round the final corner. We've still got a 19th advantage over Norris up to the line, and we claim P8 in Australia. Points finish for Cross GT Racing.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, confidence breeds confidence. Success breeds success. They are very much enjoying a purple patch right now.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So Max takes a second win this season in as many races to put Red Bull firmly at the top, or put himself firmly at the top. Perez did finish, I think it was P7, I think he finished just ahead of us. So not as many points coming his way as his teammate. But a double podium for Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton gets second place for the second race in a row, and George Russell is right up there as well. So great race from the Mercedes team today. Yeah, Perez finished just one spot ahead of us, only claiming 6 points for Red Bull. He's still in the points, but definitely needs to work on what he's doing if he wants to keep up with his teammate. But we managed to finish in P8 today, and we claim 4 points. 4 points in our second race of the season. That's huge for us. So I'm really happy with that. Car felt really good towards the end of the race. So we can just keep on focusing on just getting more consistent with handling the car. In terms of the constructors, we've jumped up into P6 now. We're ahead of McLaren. I mean, we're tied with them for points, but we're ahead of them on the standings. We are P6, which is huge for us. That's massive. Massive implications at the end of the season in terms of prize money payouts. So really happy about that. I'm not sure, if we're going to be able to maintain that, but at least it shows that we are capable of getting some points this season. We also just before got an extra acclaim level, so now we're up to team acclaim level 6, which is great. Once we get, I think it's when we get to level 10, we can have a second secondary sponsor on the car. I'm pretty sure now that we're acclaim level 5, we can get a secondary sponsor on the car, which is going to help us with getting even more money into the team, and helping us to build this car up even more by upgrading those facilities. So really exciting race weekend for us at Cross GT Racing, getting ourselves a points finish. We're going to be bringing in a brand new sponsor before the next race. It's all starting to look up. Acclaim level is just shooting up. So yeah, it's all looking really good for us right now. Hopefully we can maintain this moving forward. But that is the Australian Grand Prix. That brings us to the end of this race weekend. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Subscribe to this channel if you're new and you want to come back and watch more F1 23 content. And I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.